Hello everybody! Today we're going to see how I draw monks. Okay, pencils first and then Sharpies. So if you don't want to watch the pencil portion of the video where I sketch the entire thing out, look in the description and you'll find a link that you can click on that will take you to the Sharpie portion of the video. I'll even include one for color. But for those of you that are going to stick around, I'm going to start off with a quick sketch for myself and get us going. So this one's going to be a little crazier, a little different, because she's a sock monkey, right? So I'm going to go a little out there and just make it a little crazier. So I'm choosing a very strange, almost like a cartwheel type position. I got her running around and falling over and all kinds of crazy funness. So let's see. How about we put the foot like this? And first we got to get the pose down, right? That's what I always tell you guys. Don't worry about the details. Get your positioning right, get your placement right, and then you can worry about the details. All right. This looks pretty good. There we go. That's as I like to say on Mighty Mouse, and now you're cooking with gas. All right. Well, I guess that's just more solid like that. Okay. Now I'm going to start to flesh it out. There you go. It's a little long right there for that leg, but that's okay. Yeah, I think it conveys where we're going with this. Right. So yeah, like I said, I've got her kind of in a flipped over cartwheel type of position, and almost like jumping, I guess. You know, it depends on which way you look at it. I'm looking at it like this. How are you looking at it? Okay, let's see. So I got to draw her scarf. You can't really see her breasts because of the costume, but I got to give it a little bit of... Oh, I guess we can do that with shading. We don't have to worry about that with the Sharpie portion. Okay, let's see. So her hands... Let's see. Okay, so... Let's see, this one I want kind of, and this is going to be a little exaggerated too, because it's going to follow anatomy, but gonna get a little creative here, because I'm going to make this one a little bit bigger like that. There we go, that works. So I'm kind of thinking of like a a ragdoll kind of post. Not post, position. I don't know why I said post. There we go. That'll work. Okay, oh wait, now here's the trick. Before I get to the head, I want to show you something. So, she has a tail. And the way I have her legs going out like this, you would think that the tail's going to fall down like this. But we're not going to do that because that's a trap. Because if you do something like that, well, I think you know what it's going to end up looking like if we draw something hanging down from between her legs. So we're going to draw it at an angle like it's flowing back like that. So you just kind of have to get creative and plan for things and think, well, what happens if I draw that? Well, that's exactly what happens if we draw that. So we're going to avoid that by just repositioning. Pretty simple. Let's see. I'm trying to zoom in on the face. Okay, it looks like stitching for the mouth. But again, I'm looking at a picture like a store picture when you buy it, and it's hard to zoom in on that. So I'm just going to assume it is. We'll just assume it is and just draw it like that. If not, well then don't draw that. Right? Pretty simple. Okay. that. We'll do one there like that. Another one hanging down, a little up. Okay, I think I am ready. That sketch was pretty quick. She's mostly material and shape, so there's not too much we got to worry about with detail. There's a few things I want to try to remember. And we'll see if I can, because I'm notorious for forgetting things as I get excited about the drawing. So, okay, I think I am ready. I'm going to switch over to Sharpie here. But before I do that, I'm going to erase some of these sketch lines. Now, my theory on sketch lines are you always want to work with confidence, not with sketchiness. So, as I got more confident, my lines got darker, and those are the lines that are going to stand out more. So, I'm erasing lightly, and it's going to erase the fainter sketch lines. So I have something to work with. Alright, that looks pretty good. I can see enough that I can get going, and enough has disappeared that it won't stand out from the Sharpie. So, let's welcome everybody that jumped and skipped to this portion, right? My favorite portion. Welcome, skippers. Welcome to the Sharpie portion of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I do a drawing every day. You can join along and have some fun. I'm going to be using a Sharpie fine point and a Sharpie pen, mostly the fine point, but the pen's a little finer than the fine point and can find the things that the fine point can't quite find. So, normally I would do the facial features, but since she's wearing a big sock monkey head and costume, not a lot of facial features. So I'm going to jump back and forth between the two, and I'm going to start off with the big Sharpie. And I'm going to start off with the eyes just to get a good place to start going. I've already sketched the entire thing out, so I'm not just throwing stuff down. I've already planned what I'm going to do. So I can draw the eyes in big circles like this, and try to do another one over here, about the same size, but if not, it's no big deal. That looks right. Oh yeah, she's kind of leaning this way, kind of almost in a cartwheel ragdoll type kind of position. So her head is facing straight towards you, so I'm going to draw her mouth, the muzzle, and then we can build off of that, okay? So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to go from there to there, come around like this, like that, then just do the bottom half, something like that. Now, this is where I'm going to jump back and forth. It looks like there is stitching on her mouth, and I want that over the mouth line. So since I know where I'm going, since I've already drawn the mouth line, I know about where it's going to be. So I can play around with little things like this and know that they're not floating. So planning and sketching really helps out to give you a good place to design. All right. So now that I've done that, I can basically connect the lines in my sketch. All right, pretty good, pretty good. So, yeah. Oh, you know what? She does have a nose, but I think we could do that with color. Yeah, let's do that with color. It doesn't really stand out. We'll add the little divots for the nose once we do that in color. Okay, so let's build off of this. I'm going to build the rest of her head now. I'm just going to follow it up like this. We'll go ahead and finish it all the way over to the other side. Come down like that. Draw those ears, those big old monkey ears. Let's do both. And for the inside, always cap your Sharpie, but since I'm about to pick it right back up, I'm not worried about it. For the inside, I'm going to go with this smaller Sharpie just to get a nice contrast. A thick to thin contrast, and so you get a nice variation of line width and gives you a little bit of variance, change, and artistic style. Oh, I love that sound. I love that sound. Okay, so she does have a little like head line right there, but again, I think that's color. So we'll go ahead and do it. Let's do it. We'll just do one little line. There you go. Okay, it helps. That looks a lot better too. You know what? Since that helps, let's do the muzzle. Let's do the nose. We'll just do a little like that and like that. That helped out, right? Okay. So let's draw her little squiggly hairs. So I'm going to draw one up like this, and I've already sketched out where I want them to go, so I can pretty much just draw them now. Alrighty. Do another another one underneath. Can't really see it all, so I'm just going to do that. Do another one down here like this. Connect it, and there we go. The hairs are done. So now I'm going to draw her scarf. And again, the body's kind of leaning this way, so I've got it kind of all wrapped around, doing like this. Okay, and I'll come back with the smaller Sharpie and add some accents. Some monkey accents. Or I guess no, these are scarf accents, right? And see how that it creates a certain look to it by adding this thinner Sharpie. Pretty cool, right? All right. Oh, now I'm going to draw her scarf. Now the scarf, or the end of it, the scarf, I got it kind of flying away because she's doing this crazy cartwheel monkey position. So it's going to be floating a little bit this way. So it's going to come from underneath, up like that, and it's got the fringe on the end. So let's do the other side, like that. And we'll go ahead and add it with this big fat Sharpie. That way it'll look uniform, right? There we go. Nice. But since we're playing around with lines, let's go ahead and just do like this. Just to add a little bit of texture, you know? Okay, so the rest of her body is pretty much shape and costume. So there's not too much I need to worry about with armor, stuff like that. So I'm just going to concentrate on a few of the details. I'm going to concentrate on the few of the details that I know I don't want to forget, like her stitching right here. And it doesn't quite stand out as much as I'm making it stand out, but I like it, so I'm going to play around with these lines. Okay, so that being said, that's where her arm's going to be sewn together for the edge. Like that. Okay, there's going to be another one right here on this leg. I guess I can go ahead and do it before I forget, because I'm notorious about that. My brain doesn't work right, so sometimes I forget stuff. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and draw this line. You don't have to yet. You can do it whenever you do this part of the leg. But again, because I've already done that in the sketch, I know where it's going to be, and I don't want to forget it. So you ignore that for now. You'll come back to that later. Okay, so I'm going to draw her arm and her. You know her arm. It's got like this big, what are those called? Mitten type of hand. So I'm going to come over here for the shoulder. Go down like that, just a little bit to accent where it's sewn together. Then I'm going to draw her bicep, and then here is where that mitten is going to be. Thumb is up, coming in like that. I can probably curve it more like this. There we go. There we go. Now it looks more like a thumb. So I'm just going to bring it around since I'm following my sketch and make it look like the arm. So this is the finger. This is the finger. These are the fingers into the arm. Like this. There we go. And see how I kind of tuck it in just a little bit right there? It kind of accents that there is a seam right there. It's not seamless. Let me smooth this out. I kind of messed that up. All right. All right, looking good. How's yours looking? Awesome. Okay. So let's go ahead and do this one over here too. So we're going to do just like that. We're going to draw the shoulder to the bicep, to the forearm of the mitten, to the thumb, up, bring it in, draw the finger. The fingers, I'm just kidding. I was saying it like I did over there. Come back for the forearm, to the elbow, to the armpit, in like that, just a little bit. And again, there are lines, just a few, like the top of her head, just that kind of separate the kind of material versus like the leathery flatness of that part. Have you ever had a sock monkey? Sometimes they have like this leather part that gives it a different texture. It's pretty cool. Let's see. And how about we'll do just a little bit of an elbow, something like that, just to, and here we'll do the inner crease of the arm, because that's on the inside. This one you're showing the outside of the elbow right there. And it just kind of breaks it up. It makes it different. You know, if you don't draw symmetrically, if you don't draw it exactly the same, it gives it a unique style. It's not like you just trace the exact same thing on each side. So Now we're going to work our way down. And so again, it's pretty much just the shape of the body wearing this material over it. So we're going to come in here for her breasts and come down to her rib cage. And I've got her material bent a little bit right here because she's got her legs spread out in this weird like cartwheel position. So I'm going to come in here like this, same thing. Breasts kind of covered up by the scarf, so we don't have to worry too much about that. And this is where her waist is going to be. Again, some bumps for the material. And then I'm just going to draw her leg out like this. Now, this is why I wanted to draw that first, so I know how to accent that little piece. So like I did there, I'm going to kind of come out and bump it in just a little bit, then come right back out. Okay, so let's go in. There's her hips, bump it in just a hair, and come right back out. And see, I'm going to go down to her knee. And so see, now it's got kind of, you can see that it's got an actual seam right there of being put together. You know, it's just little things like that are going to make your drawing come alive and make it uniquely your own. So practice little fun stuff like that. So let's draw, and okay, I tell you what, let's go from her crotch right here. We'll draw the other side of the leg to the back of the knee to the calf right there. And so same thing, just like we did there, it's just a shape, and we'll come back in and add that extra little line. So from the knee, going to go down to the front. And there's where her shoe is going to be. We'll go ahead and draw the back side just to connect it so you get the full look of the feel of the way it looks. And there's the heel. It's going to come in like this for the toe, up for the toe, and come down and meet the toe like that. Okay, so I'm going to add, just like we did there, just a little line going across just to differentiate the material. And I'm going to add my infamous creases and folds because I like that there's bends in material. It makes it come alive, you know? Okay, so now we're going to do basically the same thing over here, just with no seam, okay? So I'm going to draw her hips to her leg to her elbow. You hear that sound? Do you hear that streak going across? That's work, son. That's work. Okay, so here's her elbow. Her elbow. See, I got all excited. I got thrown together. Thrown all over the place. Here's her knee. Let's go ahead and work all the way down to the front of the foot, and then we'll come back and join it over here. So there's her knee down to the boot, to the front of her ankle right there. Oops, let me reconnect that. Got a little crazy there. So here, I'm going to draw her crotch to where her other leg starts, into the back of the knee, to the boot, down like that. Now this leg I've got kind of up like this, just kind of because she's in that, like I said, in this strange weird cartwheel position. So I'm going to draw the top of the foot down to the toe, like this. I'm going to come back in for the heel, and draw the heel up, and like that. So now I'm going to add just a little bit of lines and textures because I've got her stretched, so I want some lines here for the material, and I want that connection like we did right there. Draw some creases and folds. You don't have to do exactly like I'm doing. You do what you want, because remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw, and that'll bring that alive. So I'm going to add just a little bit of a line for a knee. Do the same thing there, just to, you know, make it come alive. I'm going to add a line right there, like that. And see, I'm just stretching the material because it's so stretched out with her legs spread like that. I want to like add a little accent that it's being stressed. The more stress, the more we can accent and play around with that look, you know, because it's cloth and cloth will bend. So we're gonna kind of, you know, take advantage of the pose. All right, so there we go. You know what? I don't want to go too much crazier. I just want to finish up this last part. I wanted to add a whole bunch, but I'm not going to. I really want to draw a whole bunch of lines because it's cloth, but we're not going to. I'm going to draw the tail. Now the tail, I talked about this in the sketch, is that normally it's a monkey, so she's got a tail, so you would draw the tail out, right? But if you were to draw something right there, guess what that's going to look like? So you strategically place things where you need them to be. This is your creation. You do what you want. You don't have to do it the way it's obviously starting to look. So we're gonna add the tail flowing from the back like this, okay? It's easiest thing to do, and you're out of trouble of drawing pictures that are probably inappropriate. So I'm gonna draw the tail flowing like this, flowing back. I'm gonna curve it around, bring it in like this, bring it up. And I probably should have drawn it a little higher so you can see more of it, but I'll make up for it like this. And there you go. Now she's got a tail, and you are not in trouble for drawing things you shouldn't be drawing. So let's take care of the rest with color. So that is Monks from Fortnite. So here is my colored version. You could do it however you like. I just thought I'd show you how I decided to color it. If you'd like to color it like this, you can always pause the video here and use the coloring techniques that I used, or you can just make it your own. Remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures of how I draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button to be updated about each new video.